Hi, this is Tony Hayes from Paranormal Investigation UK. Today's date is 24th of January 2022, and the time's just coming up to 21:35, just after 9:30 on a Monday. This is a potential EVP for Penni Wallace from SOS Paranormal, and I had a look at this earlier, Penny, and I've come back to it because I found something that was a little bit interesting. Now, the software I'm using obviously puts it in time, so you're indicating it's around about 9 seconds, which is at that point there. So what I'm going to do is play it front to back. So just in case you do share it to anybody, they will generally have a better idea of what it is that we're doing here. Now, just a quick tip for later when you come to do your investigations. I think you said that you're out there with just yourself and a partner, and your partner remain quiet throughout. With EVP, normally you can capture it on one device. So what's very notable with this recording, because it's done outside, I presume it's on a mobile phone, is that it's picked up a lot of wind noise, background noise, that type of stuff. If you're able to back that up with a second device, a small EVP recorder, you can just press record, pop it in your pocket if you wish to, or somehow try and put it into sort of, I know a lot of the girls make these, like a woolen sort of sock, pop it in there, and that reduces the wind noise to zero. That way, if it's something that's in the environment that you may not heard at the time because you yourself are concentrating on the actual environment itself, looking using your eyes. So not all your brain power is exhausted on just listening for sound. So sometimes it is quite easy to miss something, even though it was recorded and heard at the time, if that makes sense. So always back it up if you can. Now, the advantage that I will find with that is if you were to send me this recording plus a secondary recording from another device, I can just sync them up. I can actually put them into another track, find out the voices where you're talking, line them up, and then when it comes to, say, a potential EVP, very quickly we can either probably discount it if it's picked up by the secondary one as well, or in the cases, vast majority, I'd say more than 80% of them will only become on one device. It may even be higher than that, 90%, but when we've used multi-devices, next to one another, some of the recorders have been placed next to one another, only one of the devices will pick that up. So just one thing to consider for later. If you need a good 8 gigabyte WAV saving audio recorder, talk to me, because we do sell these, and I can probably do a good deal on a couple of them. Probably doing for about £25 a piece. Not a hard sell, but come and talk to me. You don't have to spend amazing amounts of money on stuff. So if money's tight, talk to me and I should be able to sort you out. Right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to listen to this front to back, okay?
Yeah, we cleared all that bit. Used to be able to go through there. Walk all through that bit. So there you go. Fossils Ironworks.
Okay, so that's the recording there. Quite a lot of frequency.
Yeah. Clear.
So if you pick this bit up here, I'll just loop this back. This is all background noise. All that. So if you've got a voice that's in it somewhere, it's problematic for me to find it, and particularly if it's under the threshold. So I'll put that on an average frequency reading. So if the voice is lower than that, I've got a major problem. I can clean up, but I think that certainly for outside events, trying to use a device within a sock. Often you get these thin bags with stuff. Just pop it in there, press record, and keep it in your hand, but it does reduce a lot of this background noise that you get. So you've indicated that it's at 9 seconds, so I switch that down. Take that back a bit. The advantage of this one is this is going to be background noise. In fact, I'll show you. That's all background noise. There seems to be something going on around there, which the reason why I've come back to this a second time, I'll go back to in a short while. So this potential EVP is going to be this big spike of frequency there. That's where I think the EVP is going to be located. Okay. Okay, now when I first heard that, the first thing I'm going to think about is there a male talking somewhere? You indicated the male was not. And as we listened through it before, there's no male talking, but that does sound male. If I go to your voice, say here, where you're talking.
Used to be able to go through there.
Okay, so if we go back to where the EVP is, or potential EVP, it's at much lower volume. Okay, now I'm going to let this run a little bit. I'm just going to turn the volume down on the main mix so you don't get troublesome. Now the maximum it's coming up to is around about just under 36. This is all base frequency. It's unlikely to be voice. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out. This bit here. I'll turn the volume back up and you'll start to hear that it doesn't affect the voice at all. So that's roughly where it is. I do have a sort of default that I often use, which is that one for voice. I don't know what that squealing is. It's a strange one. It doesn't seem to affect the voice, but there's a squealing sound in there somewhere that's come in. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to take all the EQ back off and go back flat. And I'm not going to amplify this EVP at all. So the maximum it goes to is around about 36. If we now go back to your voice where you're talking, if it's that one, I'm now going to turn the volume down on that section so it fits in with the volume that's on your on the potential of the EVP. Hopefully you're following me so far.
Used to be able to go through there. 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 Used to be able to.
Okay. What I'm now going to do is slice this off, which is this potential EVP that you've got. That's it. Okay. Set another track. Let's shut this down a bit. And pop it in there. So what we've got now, the bottom track is autarking. The top track is, in fact, what I can do. Get rid of that lot. I'll get rid of the video because we don't need that. So the top bit is the potential EVP on normal volume and not amplified at all. The bottom one is your voice, which I've turned down to minus 18 decibels. So we can listen to this front to back. So we're going to hear your voice first, then we're going to hear the EVP. Let me just do that one.
Be able to go through there. Used to be able to go through there. Used to be able to go through there.
Okay. Very difficult to clean that up any more than what we've done. I've not used any EQ whatsoever on that EVP at all. However, as I mentioned on the last video that I did, is regard to tempo. We often find that when you're dealing with an EVP, they come at you at a much faster tempo. It's sort of a byproduct of EVP that I've never really been able to understand. Put that back to 150. So I'll put the loop back on.
Used to be able to go through there.
Okay. Now, I'm going to get rid of you now. So I've just got that one there. I'll take that right to the beginning. I'm going to try to clean up a little bit more. When I did it before, this afternoon, well, not this afternoon, but a couple of hours after you sent me it, I did some work on it. That's the reason why I got onto this one. So what you're actually going to hear now is the EVP, which I cleaned up a little bit, which I repeated 4 times. It's also slowed down by 50%. That's when I twigged onto something. Now, what I was also able to do If we look at the frequency of our voice when you isolate it, that's you talking. The EVP, whoops, wrong way, is there. That's where it sits. So it is a voice, and it's slightly moved more to the left because it's a male. So that's you talking, completely devoid of 300 hertz. When you come to the EVP, the 300 hertz is there. So that's EVP, that's you, completely different. And obviously when you listen to it, slow down, enhance a little bit, repeatedly. Now, having spent quite a bit of time around Belgium and France region, I began to suspect that this could have the potential of being a foreign voice. Okay. It's not as strange as you think it is. Raymond Cass, the famous EVP researcher, did countless EVPs in all types of languages: French, Dutch, German, Russian, and so on and so forth. And I've encountered this myself, where even if you're in like a British building, I've encountered foreign language within it. So I then run the theory that, am I right with this? This is French sounding. So I actually got in touch with a French friend of mine. And what I didn't do is give her any clues whatsoever. Right, this is Yansky. Yansky actually is she's a member of the Dutch Society of Psychical Research. I know her husband more, Jan, than I do more Yansky, but Yansky is a consultant I turn to now and again. And what I basically said to her is, hi, can you do me a favour and let me know if this possible EVP is a French word? So I sent her that section of 4 samples. What she said is, yeah, it's Guido, or it's canoe, I couldn't. How it's pronounced in French is this.
Dutch, gedoe. French, nous.
That's the French with the Dutch word. So, I'll play it again.
Dutch, gedoe. French, nous.
So the conclusion with this one is it's French, and it's in a way like a canoe or boat. It would be we would translate it as boat. Now, if this was like an EVP was done in Bodmin Jail, for example, or on Bodmin Moor, where there's no water whatsoever, I may not be so convinced with it. What I will do is I will forward you that in a short while when I finish this YouTube. So you've got that to compare and add it to your files. But capturing foreign languages is more common than what people think it is. And I had a general idea that this is a French word, although I didn't know what the French word was. That it would be translated as canoe, or in our case we would call that a boat. So is there some sort of connection to for boats? So what I've actually did then, I'll pull the document, I'll send you this as well, is when I went on your Facebook page I realised it's this ironworks and so on and so forth, and there was considerable waterways around there. So are we listening to a voice from the past, possibly French, talking about a boat? It may not be a big jump to consider that. It's something you might want to have a look separately. But I genuinely listened to it first. I realised that we may be dealing with a French word, certainly male, Jenske, who's Dutch and also speaks fluent French, together with her husband, who listened to it as well. They said, yeah, it would normally be referred to like as a canoe, or in our case, we'd say it was a boat. We have boats being used there. Because it's certainly in the notes that you put when you sent me the message earlier that you place certain conditions there, such as your partner which to remain silent. Well done to him. I like to see him reverse that on a female, see what that happens. Tell him one to shut, be quiet. It's an interesting one. It's left to yourself really how far you want to push a little bit more research. I know you're into with your Facebook page research, so you may know more about this particular ironwork plants, which I had a quick look on Wikipedia. I think it goes back to about 1520, something like that, before it's finally closed in 1900. If they got a reason why it shut down was because they were still using water rather than the steam. They're a little bit behind the times, and that's why it closed. So if you got water, you would have boats there. Or we listen to something that, is it residual, sort of voice from the past, or are we absolutely miles out? But I can confirm it's an EVP. It's got the makeups of it. It's certainly at a much faster pace and comes into to be more fluent when you slow it down by that magical 50%. I don't know. Watch it yourself. It's just one of them other. I think this is the beauty about electronic voice phenomena, is it leaves you with some interesting and intriguing questions. And so let me know what you think. And if you do throw any more clues onto that, you may have already determined what voice you or words, because it is 2 syllables. Cashew, which is I don't know if it is cashew. The U at the end is different. That's what sent me down the French track. And Jenskis, confirmed it was French sounding. It sounded like a voice. Did say it was slightly mechanical, which the vast majority, 90% of EVPs are mechanical, robotic sounding. But I think you've got another intriguing capture there. So well done you. So I'll save that now as a movie, pop it on YouTube so we can look at it. I will send you I've got a couple of files here. I'll put that in there so I know who it is. I'll send you the 2 readouts. One will be, at first I thought it said asleep. That's the reason why I named it as asleep. It wasn't until I slowed it down. And if you listen to it, it's a second syllable that doesn't sound like asleep anymore. On fast volume it certainly does, because part of that intonation of the second syllable is much faster, and it could sound as asleep. And then we've got the Penni one, which is you talking. The frequency completely different. You don't sound the same anyway. I'll also send you the sample one together with this document that I pulled offline. Yes, more than enough to message, which might give you some additional pointers. So thanks again for letting me have a look at that one. I thought it was going to be straightforward, but it wasn't. That's the reason why I stopped and went to revisit it after I spoke to Jenski. And I will forward you on the voice message that she's left for me, where it is, where you put that into French sound speaking in a clear voice. So hope that's useful to you. See you soon. Bye.